Welcome everyone to another episode of Slippery Slopes podcast, and we are glad that you have joined us this Sunday. Hopefully Sunday. You might be joining us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but whatever.
No, they're definitely Sunday. The exceptions are always there.
Okay, so we are glad that we have you here, and for those listening, for those viewing, thank you so much for tuning in to us today and investing your very important time with us. And today we witnessed, the past week was big for sporting events. In fact, the past weekend, huge.
The past weekend was like
huge for sports. I mean,
we were switching channels.
सब कुछ हो रहा था. So for starting, we for tennis fans,
Novak Djokovic
equaling 20 Grand Slams
with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal.
I mean, that's amazing. What a feat, man! What a feat. That guy started in the tennis.
He came around after Nadal and Federer.
Yeah.
For a long time, they were the only two guys.
Yeah.
And he's been in front of our eyes. He's grown to GOAT status.
A legend of the game. Yeah, and that's remarkable because the amount of success that he has with him at this particular point of time is remarkable. He's simply a legend now, I guess.
Yeah.
A Hall of Famer.
Interesting thing is, I would like to know how long did it take for Nadal and Federer to win 20, and how quickly has Djokovic done this?
Yeah.
Because he came in later than these guys. Definitely, I remember this much. Nadal, Federer have been there for, for the 2000s as well.
Yeah.
And then Djokovic uske baad aaya. And he's now equaled. Who knows, he might...
And still three of them are playing.
Yeah, he might get 21. Federer might retire someday or the other very soon. Nadal, guess what, is younger than Djokovic? Or no, same age, I guess.
Same age, almost.
But who knows, he might get 21 in the next Grand Slam, who knows?
And that might be a moment for tennis history.
Any of the three winning now would be history. Yeah. Because someone would go to 21.
And someone will rise, and of course the odds suit
Djokovic for sure.
More. That's because, an age factor. That's because how quickly he came.
He beat Nadal in the French Open. He's the king of clay.
Yeah. And that's remarkable. And, with that, I also come to, an understanding that the sheer dedication and passion, I guess, this guy has with himself definitely beats all of them. You cannot put passion into numbers, that's one thing. But again, if you look at it, just like Cristiano Ronaldo, working hard day in and day out. And, even Messi works hard, but, there is something else with Ronaldo, working his way.
Yeah, it feels
like he's more hardworking.
It feels like Ronaldo, has gone to a level for which he had to work harder than Lionel Messi did. Because Lionel Messi is just like
talented, he's gifted.
It looks like
he was meant for this.
Ronaldo could have been anything. He's so athletic.
Exactly. He could have step into the octagon and maybe spin some heads around. He's that strong, I guess. His legs might. He might turn into a kickboxer, and he might fuck up the league pretty bad. But I guess.
It shows. Novak Djokovic in the French Open final was down to two sets.
Yeah.
He was down 0-2. And then to win 3-2 in the final. In the final, to do that, to come back from being 2 down and on the brink of losing it to a young contender.
Sheer heart, I'd say.
He played tennis for 9 hours in 48 hours in the semi-final and final in the French Open.
That's amazing.
You can't do that without heart.
Exactly. And not just tennis, a lot of sports, as we said.
Lionel Messi finally winning an international trophy.
The drought is over. I guess it took him 9 years.
A long time coming.
Yeah.
14. When was the last time Argentina won this? In 19 something?
Yeah. So an international trophy just feels right in the hands of Lionel Messi, and
for sure.
That's a remarkable moment.
you're a Ronaldo fan, but you feel happy. I'm a Messi fan, I feel happy.
Yeah.
Everyone feels happy for the guy.
Yeah.
Because it just feels right.
It's just the amount of respect, that this sport has, this beautiful game has, and it's not just the point that it's Ronaldo versus Messi anymore. It's just about witnessing the greatness in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
That's happening every day. And if Messi retired without an international trophy,
it would have been one of the greatest tragedies of
football, and I guess
I mean, he could.
Both idols are now equal. Like Messi has a Ballon d'Or more, Ronaldo has a Champions League more.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's just so nice. I mean, Ronaldo won with Portugal his Euro Cup.
Yeah.
He didn't have a trophy before that, right?
Yeah.
So it just felt right that this guy deserved it. Both of them could have easily played. I think Messi was offered multiple times to play for Spain.
Yeah.
He could have easily gone there, and definitely if he was there in Spain.
If he was in Spain,
Spain would have won a lot of more tournaments than they did. Same with Ronaldo. He could have easily gone to somewhere else.
Yeah.
He chose to play with Portugal. No disrespect to the teams. But
teams are.
We know who's the backbone.
Of the team.
Both the teams.
There is this. I read a sporting book pretty long time back, but then there is this. Greatness effect. So I guess Ronaldo carries that with him a lot. The Ronaldo effect. His switch to Bianconeri, Juventus. The team was not. To be honest, switching from Real Madrid to Juventus is
a
sort
step
of
down.
It's a downgrade for him. But again, the team, they feel strong because they believe in someone that is there. They know that this guy is arguably the world's best player that we have on team. So how can we lose? So now, that effect brings out the best of other people as well. So I guess that the showman effect, let's just say it that way, the showman effect is there. So, these guys did their best, and now greatest ever the sport has ever seen, and let's not debate about them and just witness their greatness as it unfolds.
Look at Real Madrid after he's gone.
They're still doing good.
But there's a clear difference of when Ronaldo was there and then.
Yeah, there is a difference. That's because
he's such.
They void that Ronaldo left.
Exactly.
Someone else was given the responsibility, but again, Eden Hazard. I'm a Madrid fan, by the way, but Eden Hazard suffered a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries. He was more in Sanitas than on ground. He was more on a hospital bed than on field training. So that's unfortunate, and we have a new coach now, Antonio Pintus. Let's see, a new fitness coach, and let's see how it goes. Also, football coming round up to Euros.
It did not come home.
It did not. It came. It went to Rome, not home. So that's. Well, also Giorgio Chiellini, that's how he's Chiellini, how he's pronounced. Even him winning an international trophy with Italy feels right. Because
more than that, the sheer toxicity of the British fans is unbelievable.
Horrible. That is hooliganism. I mean, you guys literally caused an emergency right before
a final.
A European Cup final that's just one level less than the World Cup. I mean, for non-football fans out there, it's pretty important. I mean, but again, you guys are crazy. And even after the match, not taking inside your defeat, but instead of you guys causing a riot with Italian fans. I mean, why? What have they done wrong? Their country won, they're celebrating.
It was like that. I saw that meme of the demographic of who's supporting the teams in the final. It was only England flag in the England boundaries. And except that, the Italian flag. And that was it, I guess. The whole world was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to the English team. They did nothing wrong. It's just that their fans are such son of bitches. Sons
and daughters, of course.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know what these guys identify as.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful game. It's the beautiful game. Why are you...
Take the L and do that Fortnite dance because you guys are doing
casting a laser light on the head of Kasper Schmeichel while he's defending a penalty shot. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, you won the match. What else do you want? And he saved the penalty anyway.
Yeah. That's a big L.
Yeah, you literally do anything you can to distract the guy, and he still saves the penalty.
Yeah.
So Kasper Schmeichel is coming back to Leicester City.
People of Leicester, you have some questions to answer. Kasper Schmeichel. I mean, Leicester City has, of course, since Claudio Ranieri's great 2016's great run, they are, I guess, good contenders for top 4.
Last year they were a good contender.
Good contender, yeah. They are slowly shifting to being the UCL material that, every English team
sure.
aspires.
It has grown so much.
So much. After that dream run, they've grown so much. And I mean, again, he's a world-class keeper, Kasper Schmeichel.
You imagine who this guy is. Son of Mr.
Peter Schmeichel.
Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah.
And then he's such a great keeper. He literally won them along with Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante. These guys were the one who won Leicester their first ever Premier League, and then you're the one who's
laser lighting
his head.
I mean, that's so bad. I mean, people of Leicester, you have things to answer to Kasper Schmeichel, and if someone in Leicester is listening to this, you better say sorry.
Yeah,
to that guy.
Or come to India, you Southall resident. Have you seen Leicester ke home matches? They're like Sardars sitting in the stands.
Yeah, I've seen. Even in the NBA, Six have taken over. There is this famous guy, Turbinator. He wears a turban and he calls himself the Turbinator, and he has the badass, shoes out there, shoe collection out there. He has a big sneaker shop in US, and he attends, courtside. He sits with Drake. He sits with, all the big shots out there. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I mean, Drake is from Toronto. He's half sick. By that logic.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
So, Conor McGregor.
Fuck you. Before he says anything, fuck you.
I just wanted to apologize to absolutely nobody. Dustin Poirier pieced the guy up literally. And he pieced him up.
Even if that was a 5-minute fight, and people might be complaining that getting
it's an illegitimate win or it's Dr. Sausage.
It was
as Conor said. It's a Dr. Sausage.
I mean, the guy is weak, man. I mean, who breaks their bone that way? Like getting a leg kick checked, and again a knee on his leg, an elbow.
I mean, John Kavanagh, Conor McGregor's long-time coach, said that there was an issue with the ankle pre-fight in the camp. They had an X-ray done, but nothing came out.
Yeah.
And he said, we saw that in the replay as well, that Dustin Poirier was checking his kicks. He was lifting his knee up for the kick, and he was getting his elbow down for the body kick. Yeah. So John Kavanagh said that his elbow hit his ankle, and that caused a fracture. Then he went for a punch. At the same time, Dustin was coming in for a punch. They both missed. His leg pivoted.
Yeah.
And then when it came back, it crumbled on its own.
On its own, yeah. And that's weak, man. Come on. you call yourself face of the fight game.
Irish.
Funny.
But the thing is, you don't want to see an injury like that in any
sport. In any sport, not just MMA, in any sport.
You feel bad for that moment, and then he's showing gun signs to Dustin Poirier after the fight is over.
Yeah.
Then you're like, the other leg should have been injured as well. I mean, this sport is about respect. Let's be honest. It's a fight. You're saying you're going out on a stretcher.
Exactly. And also, kudos to Julie Poirier.
Flipped the bird on him.
Yeah. And she was pretty outrageous on Conor McGregor by her. McGregor was down and hurt, and she just went there and said, fuck off.
I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, Conor McGregor is disrespectable.
Conor McGregor is a disrespectful cunt. Let's be very, very, very honest. He was not at a point. When he was knocking down Eddie Alvarez, Jose Aldo, he was double champ. He was the face of the fight game. Let's be very honest.
Everybody has their peak, and I think now Conor has missed his peak, and it's time to retire.
I mean, if this is not enough reason to retire, I don't know what is. You have all the money in the world. मतलब दुनिया जहान का पैसा है.
Yeah.
You don't have a reason to fight. You have multiple businesses open. You won't go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he pays his taxes.
Yeah.
He has kids to look after.
Family
to look
wife,
after. I mean,
a beautiful family to go home to.
Quoting Dustin Poirier. I mean,
what a guy!
What a guy!
He's a diamond.
In the words of him, he said, "Karma is not a bitch. She's a mirror."
Yeah.
I beat the guy. Dustin Poirier is one of the best examples of a martial artist fighter that we know in our times, for sure.
And he is peaking his career
peaking,
right
for
now.
Sure.
He's peaking his career. Next shot he got at gold versus
Charles de Bronx.
I mean, that guy is also crazy, and Dustin is top of his game, and that's a fight to look after, man. I just believe that they fight before 21 ends, because Dustin didn't had it was a 5-minute fight for Dustin, to be honest, and he was dominating. What were the scores again for?
So he got 10-8, 10-8 from 2 judges, and 10-9 from 1 judge. So 10-8 is basically, for those who are unaware, 10-8 means an ass whooping.
Yeah.
In one round. 10-8 is very rare. You either get 10-9
from 2 judges.
10-8 is an ass whooping that you completely dominated the round, which he did. I mean, he had 2 minutes above ground control time.
2 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, he had ground control.
I mean, that's more than half.
Beating the fuck out of him like Khabib Nurmagomedov himself.
Did. It clearly reminded me of Khabib. I mean, the way he was avoiding McGregor's full guard and he was getting up and giving him an ass whooping. I mean, gosh, McGregor, you gotta fight Jake Paul.
Yeah,
that's the only thing left.
And Jake Paul was present in the arena. Yeah. He had like a
sleeping McGregor.
He had a sleeping McGregor necklace worth $100,000. He tweeted to Dustin Poirier that I think I should send you this necklace, that you've deserved this. Dustin Poirier retweeted him. He said, "Send it over." So Jake Paul said, "For sure. Do you want me to remove the ankle, or you'll do it yourself?"
Oh man, that is savage. I mean,
we are no fans of Jake Paul, but
again,
better Jake Paul than Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
I mean,
now Conor, what he should do is get to an exhibition match, because the 4th fight is definitely not happening on my watch, at least, and I guess on Dana White's watch as well.
No.
A 4th fight.
I mean, his son lost yesterday.
Dana White should now stop milking Conor McGregor.
There was this meme, Dana White saying, "The trilogy is not over until Conor wins." Dana White should realize that Dustin Poirier can be a great cash cow if he wants him to be.
Yeah, if he promotes him right, if he markets him right.
Because he's the GSP kind of character.
Yeah.
Who doesn't disrespect, who can hold his own, much better than GSP did. I mean, GSP was like, first of all, English was his second language.
Yeah.
So GSP had a hard time, trash talking and stuff.
Yeah.
And people called him boring several times in his career.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier can be a great cash cow for
the way he said,
especially after beating Conor twice.
The way he said, McGregor fast. Now McGregor sleeps. I mean, McGregor, for those non-MMA fans, McGregor Fast is an app by Conor McGregor. It's a training fitness app, so you can download it on your mobile phone, and Conor McGregor will teach you how to punch and probably not get your ankle broken. That's one thing for sure. And
it's really actually Dustin Poirier gave a reason in the press conference that because Conor came in with such a boxing intensive, I mean that's a clear excuse कि Conor कह रहा था कि he was 75% boxing camp during their second fight, and he was just focused on boxing. He wanted to fight with Manny Pacquiao, and he gave him a freebie, so he came in with mixed martial arts intentions this time. I mean, Dustin Poirier was like,
fuck it.
Dustin Poirier was like, he was kicking me without any cover. He was not punching me and then throwing a kick.
Yeah.
He was standing in front of me, hands down, and kicking me. Of course, I'll check it.
Yeah. And that's pretty predictable out of Conor McGregor.
That makes so much sense.
I mean, if you look at the start of the fight when Herb Dean, just said, and Conor came with a kick, instantaneously.
He does that a lot.
He does that a lot, and Poirier just got back and
Poirier expected that. I mean,
threw some punches out of it.
He's done that to Khabib.
Yeah.
The first thing he does is take center, and Conor is very good at it.
Yeah.
But the thing Poirier was saying that I could check the leg kick because he wasn't covering it up with a jab or a punch.
Yeah.
That's how Dustin did it to him.
Not a follow-up.
Yeah, he gives him a distraction.
Yeah.
The punch is not the intention. The kick is the intention.
Exactly.
But that comes in later, so you don't check it.
Exactly. But again, Conor, that was an ass whooping for you, and we
do not come back. I mean, I would listen. Conor McGregor has done for UFC more than Dana White and Joe Rogan
has ever did. I mean, for non-MMA fans, you must have heard about Conor McGregor at least once, and you might be thinking that he might be one of the greatest, because people who don't watch football generally know Messi, Ronaldo. People who don't watch cricket, they know Ricky Ponting, they know Sachin Tendulkar, they know MS Dhoni. So he's just like the same name, but not up to his game now.
Yeah, he was once.
He was
invincible once until Nate Diaz came in.
And he,
and he said, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. But even when he lost to Nate Diaz, Conor had an aura.
Yeah.
And he came back, he beat him.
Yeah. But I feel the second fight, it was a split decision.
Conor gasses out.
Nate
Diaz whooped his ass in the last few rounds. He was circling, he was getting away from Nate because he was out of breath.
Yeah.
So, but still he had the aura, and then he beat Eddie Alvarez, became double champ.
I really want to see Conor and Nate
do that. And Nate whoops his ass. I mean,
if you want to come back, I guess Nate Diaz trilogy.
No, I don't think so. I think before
would settle it up.
I think if Conor wants to come back, if anyone is listening and would be interested in MMA in the future, what Conor should do is take a fight with like Tony Ferguson. And because he's on the decline, but that will be a payday for Tony, which he deserves. He was interim lightweight champ once. He's a great, but he's on the decline, and that will give Conor a good step up fight.
Did Tony lost last of his two fights?
He's lost
2.
He's lost 8 rounds consecutively in his last 3 fights. He lost 5 rounds to Gaethje, 3 to Oliveira, and now he lost 3 to Beneil Dariush. So that's, I don't know how many rounds, 11 rounds on a row in a row. I mean that's pretty much a good sign of
if Tony loses again. I mean, his career is also over. I mean,
the beating he has taken over the years is now coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
He got in wars.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm trying to say is Conor can take that fight because Tony has a fan following.
Yeah.
It'll be a good payday for both of them.
Yeah.
And he can use that fight as a step up. I mean, Conor, we are criticizing him because he's a disrespectful cunt.
Yeah.
But and he doesn't have a good record in the last few years. But look at who he's fought. Khabib Nurmagomedov. That guy beats everyone. Then he won against Donald Cerrone, and then he's lost to Dustin Poirier.
2 times.
Dustin Poirier is probably the number 1 lightweight in the world after Khabib.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's losing to bums. So he needs a step up fight. Not a bum, but a Tony Ferguson or a Rafael dos Anjos. They have a beef.
Yeah, they have a beef.
So,
or maybe Nate Diaz. I don't know why.
Nate Diaz is. I mean, look at what Nate did with Leon Edwards. Yeah. I mean, he took an ass whooping.
Yeah.
For the majority of the round, but the guy just doesn't get hurt. He's a zombie that keeps coming after you.
I was watching this YouTube video of Nate Diaz, right, with his last fight. I was just going over the highlights, and somebody said in the comment section, "You hit Nate Diaz with a baseball bat, and he still stands up."
I mean, it was like watching Rocky Balboa fighting. I mean, he gets hit. The thing is, he gets impressed.
Yeah,
right? You hit him. He's like, congratulations, that's a good punch. I got knocked down. Here I am again. And then he hits him with a good shot, and Leon Edwards is rocked. Leon Edwards is a big welterweight.
He's a big guy.
He's a 180 pounder for sure. So, I mean, if Conor goes against Nate Diaz, I don't see Conor hurting Nate Diaz.
But I want to see the fight because deep down inside I'm quite a fanboy for Nate Diaz because of his style and the way he takes up things.
He's a needle mover. That's who he is. I mean, to lose a fight and still win.
That's
he
Nate
did.
Diaz, yeah.
It's unbelievable. I would see Conor versus Nick Diaz.
Dude, Nick Diaz, I don't think so. He's coming back to UFC.
He's coming back.
I don't think so. I mean,
have you seen Nick Diaz versus
I've seen Nick Diaz fight GSP.
Have you seen Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler back in the day?
I'm not seen that fight. I've heard about it, that it was one of
there
the
is
and I know Nick Diaz is better than Nate. I mean, because
for sure his record is, I don't know, 29-8 something.
Whoa.
So that's a good record. I mean, he was Strikeforce champion at age 20.
Woof.
So, I mean, the fighters we see, Nate Diaz we love because he just
goes on and
on.
Yeah.
Who brought that to the UFC? Nick Diaz. You see Max Holloway, 700 strikes in one fight. Who brought that to us? Nick Diaz. There are talks that Nick Diaz is coming back against Robbie Lawler later in the year. I would love to see that fight.
Let's just hope so. I mean, for me to Nick Diaz come back is a very, very long shot in the dark, to be honest, because Nick Diaz was he's banned for taking up
stupid decision. I mean, you're banned for a lifetime for testing positive for marijuana. And then he was banned for 5 years. They decreased it to 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So he was free to fight in 2016, but he has not come back ever since. So and now
that was a stupid decision. I mean, that really explains there is something personal between Nick Diaz and Dana White. I believe, because there is. But Dana White, the president of UFC, if you ban for someone for life for testing positive, I mean, who was that sprinter again? Charlie O'Carly?
The US sprinter who just got banned
for marijuana use. That is just one event ban, not a career ban that you give out to.
But the thing is, in defense of the rules in UFC, there are rules in place. It doesn't make sense. But there are rules. So Nick Diaz did test positive for marijuana even when it was not allowed. So that can be his fault.
That can be.
So, but the thing is that Nick Diaz he's a triathlete.
So
he's in great shape.
If one day one of the Diaz brothers, watches this podcast.
Stockton, motherfucker.
Yes. I mean, guys, come on. Listen to this shit that we are talking about here right now. And maybe give us a chance one day. And we have extra chairs, man. I mean, for brothers.
They don't talk much.
Diaz Army.
But I mean, it's very sad that we didn't get to see Nick Diaz in the flesh. We only saw old matches. So I would love to see him live again. Because I never got to see him.
That would be an honor and a true delight. But again, that's a very long shot.
It's not
on Dana's watch.
And again, unfortunate. He was in the time of GSP.
Yeah.
If GSP was not there, Nick Diaz would have been champion for
risen.
Sure.
Yeah. It would have been a Nick Diaz world. Now that's a totally different.
And GSP went. And if Nick Diaz hadn't had a ban, I see Nick Diaz beating the fuck out of Tyron Woodley. I see Nick Diaz beating the fuck out of any welterweight all the time.
Yeah, exactly, because he was topping the division. I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, most punches landed again.
He lost to Carlos Condit back in the day.
But Carlos was something different.
Even Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva in 2015 was a very close fight.
Yeah.
To give competition to Anderson Silva
is pretty
so
fair. Gotta give it to Nick.
Nick Diaz back in the day.
Yeah.
He gave it to the guys that came in.
Yeah.
But coming back to Conor McGregor, recover well, fuck off.
Yes, seriously, fuck off. And if you want to fight again, do an exhibition match with Jake Paul. That might earn you money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
And you might lose there because Jake Paul is heavier than you.
I mean, not that, but again, there won't be any decision. I mean, it's an exhibition match. They won't be having judges, no TKOs, no KOs. So I guess Conor, you can better step into that ring or better try.
He should not even do that.
I mean, Conor should go to WWE.
This is the perfect way for Conor to retire. Just get the excuse of the ankle break. It's very unfortunate that it broke. And then
you're on a top note. I mean,
leave on the top. But again, not the top, but leave as an elite fighter.
There is this problem with fighters that exists a lot, and that's, I guess, their ego. Like a guy like Conor has a big ego. I mean, an ego bigger than him. So what Conor will do is definitely try to come back.
For sure.
And he'll heat up the social media again. He'll bring back the old Conor. He'll bring back the old Conor trash talking on.
This is the new Conor. I mean, old Conor wasn't like this.
I mean,
old Conor was much better than Jolie's wife.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from fuck the Mayweathers to Jolie's wife.
Real down. That's a real step down.
I mean, when Floyd and him had a conference, this was so savage. He said he came in a suit. Floyd was in a t-shirt. He's like, the man is 40 years old. Dress your age. Why are you carrying a school bag? You can't even read. That is trash talk.
That is so bad. I mean, yeah, the old Conor had that passion, that aggressiveness, I'd say, that, you know, he used to win all the mental warfares against whoever stood in front of him.
But ever since Khabib,
he got humbled.
And then he just lost the
spark. I mean, he took a retirement for the third time.
There's a difference between trash talking and pure insulting. Or crossing the line.
Yeah, he did cross the line with Khabib. I mean, going towards his father, his family,
his religion,
yeah.
He tweeted your wife is a towel. You can't do that.
That's too personal. Never ever in sport, I guess, that has been done before. I mean,
especially a sport like mixed martial arts, which is the number one thing is respect
and discipline. I mean, look at the fighters in one championship. I mean, they kill each other in the ring. For 5 rounds, they'll kill each other, and when the bell rings, they'll bow down to knees.
Look at the guy who was in the co-main, Wonderboy Thompson.
Exactly. I mean, that guy.
That guy is the epitome of respect and friendly, and Thompson. You know, shake hands after. It's a fight. It's a sport. He's a dead man. He's going out as a corpse.
Yeah.
You know, Jolie's wife.
Yeah.
Fuck off, man.
Gun signs. I mean,
don't represent this sport. Go
like that.
You know who has a big ego? Floyd Mayweather. But who is smarter than Conor McGregor? Floyd Mayweather. He picks his fight. I mean, he fought with Logan Paul.
For money's sake. I mean.
So for money, but he knows what he's getting himself into. And he won't make a joke out of him.
Yeah.
He won't break his ankle. If you want to fight with a guy like Dustin Poirier, who's with American top team, gets his ass whooped every day, trains with killers, is a killer himself. You can't have McGregor fast gym, McGregor fast t-shirts, McGregor fast coaches. I mean, he said, he trained in California in his new gym, his new facility. Yeah. He said, our sparring partners that we have called up, they've all gotten houses in California while they stay here. How will they beat his ass up in the gym if we have given them a house to live in?
I mean, that's a big favor, and if
I wouldn't beat the shit out of Conor McGregor if he has given me the house I'm living in currently.
Don't even try. I mean, surrender, sir.
I break his teeth, the teeth he's newly got. Yeah. That can't happen. So there's a level of training that you need to do for an MMA fight.
Yeah, and I guess Dustin clearly wins that, and it's a sport. I mean, including personal remarks, including remarks about your wife, your family.
Mixed martial arts any sport isn't a place for that. But except WWE, I guess. But that is not a sport then, is it?
Yeah, that's just entertainment. Yeah. As a kid, I used to believe a lot in WWE. I mean, Paul Heyman coming with an
out of all people, Conor McGregor was the first one to hate on WWE. I mean, have you seen that video? It's the funniest video I've ever seen. He said, you know, who's the main guy? John Cena. You know, 40-year-old wearing a yellow neon t-shirt saying, you can't see me. Yeah, we can see you.
The dweebs. I mean, what's the main guy, John Cena? He's wanting around. He's 40. Yeah, he's 40 years of age. He's wanting around in a luminous orange t-shirt and a headband, talking about nobody can see him. We can see him right there. He's a big fat 40-year-old failed Mr. Olympian motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? That dweebs, those guys.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I miss that Conor, you know.
Yeah. Even I miss that, but again, no disrespect to John Cena. At least I used to look him as an idol, man. I mean, look at him, what a good guy.
He said, "You can see me." Yeah, we can see you. You're a 40-year-old wearing a yellow neon T-shirt, failed bodybuilder motherfucker.
That's amazing. That's the Khabib. You know, with WWE, there is this transition to theatrics more.
It's entertainment. WWE
Yeah, it's
for
theatrics.
entertainment, right?
It's basically theatrics, and that ring is a stage where artists come and perform. Now, equally good respect to those guys as well, because they're putting a show. All right. Stomping each other with a steel ladder.
What the fuck is this?
Fighting over a briefcase 20 feet above and then falling. I mean, that's.
What the fuck is this? Matlab, it's not a fight, right? Don't consider it as a
fight,
as a sport. It's show.
Santino Marella with coming a cobra. I mean, you hit this move to anybody, you'll break your fingers out. I mean, who the fuck gets knocked out like this? I mean, that's stupid. But again, as kids, we all believed. And we did had a sheer good time in our childhood, with WWE, with their games,
with their cards.
JBL,
NFT might bring
JBL with the biggest bicep.
NFT might bring WWE back. Who knows?
Who knows? And I mean, Vince McMahon having feuds with everyone. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Even transition of Brock Lesnar from WWE back to UFC, that was a big thing.
Many people didn't like that.
Yeah, many people didn't like that, but again, Brock Lesnar proved himself.
I mean, he beat Randy Couture twice.
Yeah.
So, and he then beat...
He was really good.
He was good. He was a champion. But then he lost to... People make fun of him for losing to Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez is one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time.
I mean, you know what? When Brock fought Cain Velasquez, the main problem was he already had a abdomen surgery like 3 months back, so he was 100% recovered. But Cain Velasquez was already targeting his abdominal region, with punches and with lower blows.
You shouldn't be ashamed for losing out to Cain Velasquez. He's Cain Velasquez. But I mean, he wouldn't stand up to USADA. No way he could fight right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really unfair for some fighters. They sent him in the cage with that dog.
Yeah.
Was juiced up to his gills. I mean, Brock Lesnar was juiced up to his gills.
Yeah. But again, he was back before UFC as well. He was a national wrestling champion.
Yeah,
his size,
he had some.
For his size, he was way more quicker than other competition. So that's biggest, pros of Brock Lesnar as we're discussing him. But again, WWE was a good time. ECW, WCW, all that feud back in the day. I know entire history of WWE.
I have no idea.
I mean, I love, the guy Mick Foley a lot. There was this guy Mick Foley. He used to play 3 characters: Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind, and Mick Foley as himself. I mean, 4.
So and you believed this shit?
No, I didn't believe it because this was back even before I was born. This was like WCW Nitro. So
even when I was a kid, I didn't get this shit.
1980s, 1980s.
Even when I was a kid, I didn't get this shit.
I used to get this a lot.
I knew Rey Mysterio, John Cena,
Batista.
Yeah, that guy. And and Khali. That's all. And now I know Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, yeah. I mean,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But you know what? If you go backstage and if you look how WWE actually treats, in 2002 WWE Raw came to India, the roster flew to India for a fight, and that's on YouTube again, so you guys can watch that. That's a 2-hour episode and it was pretty great.
I mean,
I used to fanboy on so many things that WWE had to offer. I mean, with John Cena, I learned respect, to be honest. Hustle, loyalty, respect. I mean, you can see me, okay, that's fine. It's a joke that still goes around. But with John Cena, I learned a lot. I mean, with Undertaker, I always learned that, there is nothing ever called giving up.
Who's the fucker who got reborn? Undertaker?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, dead man alive.
Yeah, whatever.
So, I mean, Undertaker taught me that, you should never fucking give up. Whatever the beating you take in your life is that. Shawn Michaels taught me that, emotions are always there. So there was a lot of... I mean, there is this one thing and there are 2 guys. So who gets the most out of it? Definitely me right now. So no, WWE for me as a kid was no joke. It was serious. It was passion. It was 50% of the problem that why I had anger issues as a kid and why I used to think that I could chokeslam anybody. And if I threw someone to the ropes and he'll come back, that's...
You were karate. You did karate.
I did karate.
How
I was a
are
gold
you
medalist
still a
in karate.
WWE fan?
No, I'm not a fan still, but I'm just quoting my childhood. I mean, how it was and how big of an influence WWE was. I mean, I used to
Yeah,
run to
it was
stores
very
to-
big back in the
I
day.
had SmackDown versus Raw, almost every parts of it. Then I had SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain.
Those cards were also a big part of it.
Big part of it, I mean. And
They were the first before crick attacks and
yeah,
all that
slam
shit.
attacks were the first one. But even before that, we had those ranking cards, chest, bicep, weight. And we used to say, Meri rank kam hai, tera weight zyada do. Yeah, that was quite the, part of my childhood that I just recalled. And again, let's not dwell
For
on
UFC 265 will be a real fight between Derek Lewis and Cyril
with
Gane.
real blood.
And Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes is basically
She's
135
baddest
and
female.
145 champion who could beat a lot of
Guys in the same
the
division
as well.
Amanda Nunes is built different, and when we talk about saying built different, you gotta see her videos. What she does in the ring, in that octagon.
I saw a meme. I mean, Amanda Nunes has a wife.
Yeah.
So they're both fighters.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes and Nina Nunes, I guess.
Nina, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw a meme. Even if Amanda Nunes was straight,
Yeah.
she would still be the husband.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Amanda Nunes is definitely built different, and she's here to storm up the league. And she has already done it.
Amanda
with double
and
belts.
Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, they both
They
have
both.
done it.
Valentina Shevchenko, for those who are unaware, rules the 125 division. Nobody beats her.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes rules the 135 and 145. 145 is basically a joke. Not many fighters are 145 in the female shit. But 135, nobody is beating her. 125, nobody is beating Valentina.
Yeah.
So we are going to see another ass whooping in UFC 265.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes defending a title again. But the heavyweights fight it out. Looking forward to it. Nothing compared to UFC 264. That Conor McGregor brings in a different kind of an atmosphere to a fight.
Yeah, and different kind of viewership, different kind of revenue, different kind
Which
of
we will
sponsors.
miss once he's gone.
Yeah.
But not right now. He's a cunt.
Yeah. Current status.
We'll miss him in retrospect.
Yeah.
So,
Coming to
a
finance and tech.
revolutionary topic that we wanted to cover for a very long time.
Yeah. And this is just not crypto to all our viewers. Before starting
This can be a continued from our first pilot episode where we talked about NFTs and cryptocurrency and all that. We are back to that.
Yeah.
Life comes a full circle round. We're back talking about blockchain and decentralization and moving forward towards getting banned.
Or maybe get elected in a committee that decides upon India's future of crypto.
No shit, nobody's doing that.
I mean, be a little optimistic. I mean, if this blows up, if this blows up, we're getting good amount of streams. We're actually monetizing our videos.
We are the face of the Indian cryptocurrency world.
So what if we get a call from, finance ministry? And we can have you on board sometime. And,
you seem to talk a lot.
Yeah, come over, have a tea. And
Bring your passport.
Yeah, so talking about decentralized finance. So decentralized finance is just not cryptocurrency. Again, not related just to cryptography or cryptocurrency. It is more towards blockchain technology that we have with us. Am I right, sir?
Yes. Like we said in our pilot episode, that
Yeah.
Ethereum, when it came, it shifted the focus from just currency and holding value
To technology.
of
Yes, sir.
blockchain.
Yes, sir.
So, and we said that it enabled creating decentralized apps called dApps on it, and it basically allowed everyone to use this,
Do whatever
to
the
do
fuck you
whatever
want.
the fuck they want. So, when it came to replacing the traditional financial system, it's not just about currency. Financial system consists of money markets.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what money markets is,
Basic
I'm
economics. I'm sorry for
Sorry.
that. I mean,
I'm sorry.
We can't just do that right now.
This is this is a few years of education you missed out on.
Yeah.
So
And pretty important.
basically, lending and borrowing.
Yeah.
You need money. I'm ready to give you for a collateral. That's what money
one of the
markets
most
are.
important
One of the most
pillars of
basics
financial
of
system.
financial systems.
Yeah.
Then you need an exchange, stock market. We have NSE, BSE, Nasdaq, NYSE. You need that in a financial system. You need insurance in a financial system. So these things you need. So how can you bring that into decentralized technology and on a blockchain in the decentralization world and power it through smart contracts?
Yeah.
So that is what decentralized finance is.
आसान शब्दों में, for viewers not getting the jargon right here, we are just trying to not convince you actually, but to convey a message that we want to eliminate banks, right, but retaining all the facilities that banks has to offer.
No,
Right?
not that, but I'll give kind of a twist. Not the facilities bank offers, but the facilities are there, just removing the banks from it, you know. I mean, they act as middlemen. What?
So removing banks but taking out the facilities out of that.
But you said banks offer that.
Right now, yes, banks do offer all of that. But again, alright, well, whatever way you want to put it, you just get the crux of it that no banks.
So basically,
just money to and fro, borrowing, lending, insurance. Financial
exchanges,
instruments,
you know,
stock exchange, financial exchanges.
investing strategies, trading.
Decentralized
on a blockchain.
आप भी उतना ही कंट्रोल कर पाओगे जितना हम कंट्रोल कर पाएंगे और उतना ही दुनिया के सारे लोग जो इधर अपना दिमाग खराब कर रहे हैं कंट्रोल कर पाएंगे. So that's
Exactly.
simply it.
Yeah. So it's a very big topic. First of all, it's powered by smart contracts.
Yes,
so
sir.
smart contracts is basically code. It's not smart and it's not a contract.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a misnomer.
Yeah.
But it's basically a piece of code that executes on the blockchain that is an open ledger. And it's like you sign a deal, like अगर हम दोनों एक सौदा करते हैं, so we have set some conditions, right? कि ऐसा होगा तो ये होगा, ये होगा तो ये होगा, and अगर वो होता है तो वो होगा, अगर कुछ करना है तो ये बंद हो जाएगा. So just turning that into code,
A piece of
turning
code.
that into code and solidifying it forever. ये होगा तो ये ही होगा, you know. A bank can't rig that, or some middleman can't rig that, and that is more revolutionary than we think of it.
Yeah.
Like आज मैं सुन रहा था एक podcast, Lex Fridman's podcast, and he was like, people don't realize the power of smart contracts that they can play in the future. Right now, we are talking about decentralized finance.
Yeah.
But सोच के देख, I mean, it blew my mind. Let's say smart contracts are a big part of society in the future.
Yeah.
So all these politicians voting से पहले, they give all these promises. What if one day you're like, okay, you're going to do this, right?
Smart contract.
Let's just codify it and make a smart contract out of it. So once you're elected, we'll just run it and it will happen. Everyone will go home happy. Why not do that? So imagine a world like that. It could happen.
But that will take out the politics from it.
So,
Yeah.
but it's like a very good example of the scope of technology.
Yeah.
How far it can go.
Yes, sir. I mean, if you look at it in a way that, you know, smart contracts and executing how, you know, solidifying, as we said, that, you know, this piece of code will run on this particular day and will, you know, execute a transaction, whatever agreed upon. So if we talk about, you know, breaking of the contract, how will that be put into play? Like, for example, if we have a smart contract, right, and some circumstances happen and, you know, I'm not able to fulfill your ask, or you aren't not able to fulfill my ask. So, and the contract just basically falls. So what will happen, right? Like,
yeah, it's a problem. That's a real problem. That smart contracts, once they're done, they're done.
Yeah.
It will happen. अगर train छूट गई, अगर तीर निकल गया है, तो वो निकल गया. That's a problem. There are improving on that, creating hybrid smart contracts and stuff. Of course, we are not from a technical background as of yet, but they are doing things. It's 5-year-old technology, 4-year-old technology.
Yeah. So it needs a lot of
it's in its
brushing up
nascent stage, but it's still doing so much better.
Yeah. So in a product life cycle, PLC that we are taught in management schools. So when a product is out, it is firstly adapted by innovators.
Yeah.
Talked by innovators in a market. So currently, let's just say that innovators. Then there is this another regime of luxury. So influencers do that. Then when influencers do that thing, then the high class people do it. Then the masses follow.
Yeah.
So there is this cycle. So right now we are at the very first stage of innovation, because not everybody. If you talk about smart contracts, and not everybody would be interested.
It's a learning curve that is harder than just normal stock market. People don't know much about the normal stock market and how they're robbed in so many places.
Exactly. If this comes into play, the DeFi scene is like 100% in motion. So I believe that it's probably impossible to cope up with it, because when we learn economics, and there is this first example of a perfect marketplace with a perfect demand and supply curve, right? So that is non-existent. We learn about a perfect marketplace where everybody's selling at the same price, everybody's doing same, and that's perfect. But life's imperfect, and smart contracts tend to offer a more perfect world that we currently live in. That's like a contract that is coded just like, Paarug gave an example of a politician that, he'll fulfill this and that, and, let's break that into a code and impose a penalty if that's not done. But again, to cope up with that, where humans are involved, there is a lack of productivity, and I guess there is a lack of, I guess there are more chances of mismanagement. So automating it wholly is still very far from where we are now.
Of course.
But again, we are talking this today because, years after from now, that if you listen to this, it will still make sense. It will still remain relevant. It will still be, the same talk. Because we want you to know that what future seems like, and to give you a vision out there. And also, coming again back to DeFi, so this blockchain form of finance, what can it offer, in terms of, let's just say, insurance?
So there are, first of all, let's just cover decentralized exchanges and money markets.
Money markets,
for sure.
Simply.
So we have stock market, we have NSE, BSE. In DeFi we have DEXs, decentralized exchanges. Ek to inke naam, there is a lot of jargon involved in this
and
space.
It sounds very futuristic as well.
It sounds like
Star Wars.
It's made for you to not get it. कि मतलब ये समझ ना आए, please.
Yeah.
They're like, decentralized exchanges are called DEXs, and one of the biggest DEXs is Uniswap.
Yeah.
And so that is basically a decentralized exchange where you can, swap Ether for USDT, a stable coin, USDT for DAI, which is also stable coin, for Matic, anything. It's an exchange. And it's a decentralized platform, so it's open for all. You don't need to provide your details. No KYC, none of that.
Yeah, no KYC.
Which is good and bad.
Yeah,
it's good and bad. It's permissionless. You don't have to involve a bank, a government official, none of that. And it's equal for everyone. And the way it works is basically like a normal stock exchange works. So there are a lot of things that go into an exchange. You have, like, अगर एक stock खरीदते हैं, this was my favorite of the thing. Like, two things Uniswap works on: liquidity pools and AMMs, automated money makers. So basically a stock exchange works on liquidity, right? पैसे होने चाहिए एक exchange में, ताकि transactions हो पाए. Like अगर let's say एक mall में अगर 2 ही दुकानें हैं, तो वो भी 2 दुकानें जल्दी बंद हो जाएंगी. Exactly. It's like that. So you need a little bit of customers already in the mall, so that other customers can come in and transact and exchange money. So that's how a stock market works. A lot of stock exchanges also have permanent liquidity, money makers already who buy stocks on their own and then sell it. So they keep the liquidity going on.
Yeah, the cash flow keeps on.
I didn't know that isse pehle.
And that was taught in 12th BST.
I didn't. I had science. So basically, a normal stock market also has that. But in Uniswap, you have people volunteering to provide liquidity in a pool or in a collection of funds, so that the exchange can go on moving and can provide transactions to everyone. And the liquidity providers get an incentive for that.
Yeah,
we can talk about that later.
It's a very vast topic.
Yeah, it's very vast. So there's liquidity provision. So people providing liquidity in the pool, so that problem is solved. How do we have liquidity in a decentralized way? So first thing is that is solved by liquidity providers. Then the second thing is prices. I mean, मतलब खरीदना है तो किस प्राइस पे खरीदना है? So stock market basically works on an order book model. You can explain that better. A commerce student.
No, we were not that deep in order book model, but I have a rough idea of it. I guess order book model goes out with stocks getting listed first, and then IPO is filed.
So buyers
meet. First it is subscribed to 90%. And then it comes into play. That's how SEBI works. Some of the parts SEBI
like
works.
Buyers deciding that this is the price I want to buy this at, and sellers deciding this is the price I want to sell this at.
That's sellers more like an initial public offer.
Sellers want to make it expensive, buyers want to make it cheaper. They meet at a middle point because there are so many sellers, so many buyers. They can meet at a point, and that's how the price is set.
And that's also depends upon the traded volume.
Exactly.
Of the current
Exactly. And the current price is the price of the last trade that just happened. Right. So
that's how basically all the stock markets
a traditional system works. Is basically buyers and sellers meet. But what if there are 3 buyers and 2 sellers? They will never meet at a price. Because there will be no agreement. So this blew my mind. So the Uniswap works on a model called AMM. It's basically an automated money maker. I don't know why would you call that. You could say it works on a mathematical formula. How hard is that? Automated money maker. So how hard is it to say? How hard is it to say mathematical formula or an algorithm?
Automated money maker.
ये कितना मुश्किल है ये बोलना. AMM. So basically what it is the whole system, the whole exchange works on a model called an automated money maker, which is basically a mathematical formula, which goes X into Y is equal to K. So X is amount of.
We lost 50% of the audience.
So
50% लोगों ने बंद कर दिया.
So basically, the volume. So AMM is for every 2 coins. Let's Ether or any other stable coin. Let's say DAI is a coin. Let's say DAI is one coin and ETH is the other coin. So basically, the amount of, let's say, ETH in a liquidity pool into the amount of, let's say, DAI in that very liquidity pool. Also, just a side note, every 2 coins have a different liquidity pool. कि मतलब जो अगर 2 coin trade हो रहे हैं तो उनका एक specific liquidity pool है कि इसमें ETH और DAI ही है.
हाँ, exactly.
And the transaction will happen between them. So every 2 currencies have a liquidity pool of their own. So basically the formula that Uniswap works on is the amount of ETH in a pool into the amount of DAI in a pool will remain constant. and that will decide the price. So let's say there are 10 ETH and 10,000 DAI in a pool. So if you want to buy one, so the product is 1 lakh. 10 into 10,000 is 1 lakh.
1 lakh.
Say that is the constant we are having right now. For example, you want to buy 1 ETH. So that
for people, Ethereum.
Yeah, Ether. So that will become 10. That will go from 10 to becoming 9.
9.
So how do you make the product constant? You increase the amount of DAI. So that 9 into dash is equal to 1 lakh only. So how much you increase it by, that is the price of ETH you're paying.
Yeah.
समझ रहा है? कि मतलब तूने तो पहले पढ़ा हुआ है.
मैंने तो पढ़ा, उनका जरूरी है.
समझ रहे हो?
आप लोग समझ रहे हो? आपका समझना जरूरी है, वरना आग लगा दो इन सबको.
So basically that is the formula कि मतलब अगर 10 रुपए का कुछ खरीद रहे हो, मतलब अगर 10 चीजें हैं, 10 है, you're buying 1, so that is 9 now. So how much do you increase the other thing by so that the product is say 100?
Same.
It's the same. So that is the price, and that there's a very interesting thing is that you're not able to buy a lot of one currency in one go because the price of the other goes up exponentially. So matlab,
and if you keep on buying, it keeps on increasing.
It keeps on increasing
the price.
So that is the model that Uniswap works in. This is not only one. There are a lot of AMMs out there, but this is just an example that basically instead of politics, mathematics is doing the work here.
Yeah.
So, and that is for sure the future.
Yeah.
I mean, if just the simplicity of the formula working wonders as far as it's done now, if that isn't a sign of what's to come.
Yeah. I mean, it's surely a great concept, and it surely feels like, our banking future is dependent upon it. But again, when I was studying this MakerDAO token and the pools and the smart contracts, I was also, I watched a movie on Netflix. It's called Capitalism is Dying. So it's a good movie. It's like for 1 hour, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It's a good movie. So in that phase, there is this one big ups to the future of finance, that is DeFi as well, that how big capitalist people turn policies around to favor themselves, right? So with smart contracts happening, with contracts becoming patthar ki laki, like they're so on to point and so definite to one end, from one end to another end, this might not happen. And this might also kill capitalism for people out there, because if we look at the decentralized aspect of this finance,
it's very socialistic.
It is socialistic, not very, but it is just socialistic, and it might shift us to a socialistic economy. Now, for socialistic economy to sustain, it needs money, right? And not everyone's making it. If someone else, let's just say public figure X is making tons of money, and one guy in the audience Y is making no money, again, socialistic economy, it splits all the way. The socialist economy, splits it all the way. With that into play, I mean, we have seen America being a capitalist country. We have seen all the successful nations except for Mother Russia to be capitalistic countries.
Mother Russia is not capitalist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they are not capitalistic, but they're still
great. Yeah,
they're still great.
अभी स्पेटिंग लगवानी है मैंने.
मेरी तो कोविड. But ठीक है. So this shift to socialistic economy, socialistic economy, I just don't believe, and many economists don't believe that socialistic economy is meant for longer terms.
Yeah.
So do you think still DeFi, with this criticism that I've just,
I feel like what DeFi would do is kill out crony capitalism.
So the one that is cruel.
It would kill out, the hidden figures of capitalism. Yeah, I mean, capitalism is not perfect. We know that. It would kill out, and is politics capitalism?
Politics is not capitalism. I'd say politics is something different.
What I feel like it would, the first attack vector that it would go towards is politics and banks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, governments print more money, they cause inflation.
Yeah.
It cheapens our value. We use the money,
Yeah.
they cheapen. It's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, how do prices go up? That means our money is of less value now.
Yeah.
And governments do this all the time to increase inflation.
I mean, that's pretty true. But again, healthy inflation is healthy at some point. I mean, if a regular inflation of economy, let's just say 4, 5%, 6, we are at a 8% current rate of inflation. That's high. That's 2% or 1% high. But a good economist will always say like a 4 or 5% inflation should be there, because it just not only increases the price of, let's just say, petrol.
No, but like
common
not like
commodities.
regular inflation, but just let's say abhi pandemic hua.
Yeah.
Now fuel prices are like 100 and 1,000 rupees.
Petrol hit me today.
So so that is inflation, isn't it? The value of our money is down and going down and down and down deep into the ground.
Yeah.
It's not prices are rising. The value of our money is decreasing.
The money that we hold in our hands.
Yeah. So for the time we spend to earn money, or our parents do to earn money, the value of that time is also decreasing.
Indefinitely, yes.
Yeah. So that goes out of their hands with DeFi coming in.
Yeah.
So, but like to point out, like a lot of, including Uniswap and a lot of different DeFi protocols and companies out there, a lot of their focus is to, decentralize the control. A lot of their focus is that the community makes the decisions or at least approves the decisions. They are taken into account. A lot of these things are open sourced.
Yeah.
And they have open codes,
Yeah.
and they take suggestions. Like Cardano, we have spoken about, is everything they do is powered by peer-reviewed studies.
Yeah, a community-run system.
Their white paper was peer-reviewed for a long time, and then they came up with a final thing. So, I mean, and Cardano also has this vision that once we are, in circulation and once our technology is spread out worldwide, we want to let go of our control and just spread it out in the community, like Wikipedia works, for example.
Yeah, but again, if you work, I don't know if you guys were into any modern United Nations, but Wikipedia is never considered as a true source of information, because anybody can edit.
The thing is that I also used to think that हमें teachers ने भी बोला था कि don't consider Wikipedia as it is peer reviewed and the information on there is by the public, for the public.
Yeah.
But the thing is that makes it more secure in a way.
No, it makes it more gullible to be vulnerable and.
I mean, if you hack the system, if you go in, put a misinformation, there is a chance that someone else notices it and corrects it.
But again, chances are what are the odds?
I mean, they're working very well. You go to Wikipedia for information, not for your college projects, but if you want to know something, you go to Wikipedia. And it's a very unbelievable thing that it's working so well. You would think that the first chance they get, they would manipulate the information.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's quite the fact that Wikipedia is how I guess for people and people taking off of it, just like a democratic system. Let's just say
it's a socialistic
system. But again, if you just come to a point, like if I search something, let's just say like many people would have done by now, I search DeFi. So the first link that is offered to me on Google, that is 99% of the chances that I use to search.
It's Wikipedia.
It's Wikipedia. I mean, if not Wikipedia, there are other websites offering you definitions quoted by famous people in the space. I mean, if there is this person telling you who's a PhD scholar in a particular field, and he quotes something out of, he says that, I have 10 years, a decade of experience in this field, I'm a PhD holder, I'm a doctor of economics, and according to me, DeFi means this, and a website shows that, versus someone who just watched a video on YouTube and just, likewise communicates that video in a text format. which one would be more accurate, more precise, more, trustable?
I mean, the information that Wikipedia gets, I mean, there are a lot of educated people who do that also.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know who did that, but there are...
It's an assumption to assume.
There are checks and balances in Wikipedia as well.
Yeah.
So, if an information gets manipulated over time, for example, let's say an article has been edited for like 3-4 times in the last few days. So Wikipedia has an algorithm working behind it that catches that. And they do their best to not have misinformation on their platform.
Yeah.
The thing I'm trying to say is the thing works. It's working right now in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it is working, but just like when you go to Wikipedia, there's always an option to edit. I mean, that's
and you have to know HTML and CSS, and you have to have the knowledge to do that. You have to go to the back end and edit. You can't just change the article.
That way. I just thought that a text box will open up and you just type in like an MS Word. So I just make Lionel Messi the second best player of the world. Very convenient. Convenience. This is technology.
No. You have to go to the back end. You have to know HTML to change that. It's not just any John Doe can do it, but it's not like no one can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
I can go.
It's pretty much attainable.
But they take your information. Who are you? And they have checks and balances. They'll see what the information
IP
is.
address.
Yeah. So they know. And you. I mean, India mein misinformation is a trend now. So you might get caught.
If there is this article which is leaned towards a particular, let's just say, ideology, or not just ideology but a particular opinion. Okay, ideology is very politically
but
a very political term.
Yeah.
So let's just say like there is a law case study which says that this criminal hasn't done anything wrong, and there are 50% people who believe the notion otherwise, that he has done wrong, he has done something wrong. So when we talk about this opinion imbalance, and then there is this person who goes on to Wikipedia and actually frames the entire article on a basis of his opinion, right, which favors or caters just the 50% of the people, right, and the other 50% disagree to it. So, and then they editing it again. I mean, then comes checks and balances in the play. So this fight again.
That is the beauty, right?
Are you nuts?
So let me
really want to make people.
Let me give a counter to that. Let's say a person is inclined towards one of his own opinion, and he's an expert in the field. Let's just say he's a journalist. He puts on an article that goes on Google independently. He puts on an article in let's say a newspaper or any publishing website.
Yeah.
When you're looking for that, when you Google to do your own research, you get that article, and that article is fixed.
Yeah.
He's published it, and no one can change that.
Yeah.
If he goes on Wikipedia and his intention is that this opinion should go out as a Wikipedia knowledge, there is someone out there who has, say, a counter opinion or maybe a centrist opinion, which is like taking both sides into account.
Yeah.
That person goes on there and corrects it. So one person doesn't have the stronghold to spread out information. Someone will check it. As compared to just one person giving out his information, whether it's misinformation or not. You can't change that. But some person who has better knowledge or better foresight as to what happened and what can happen, that person can correct any misinformation. And that is what I mean by like checks and balances.
Yeah.
So doesn't that make it a little more reliable?
If you're talking about just information aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, let's just say, money aspect of it, right? So there is this person, an entity behind, let's just say, a DeFi protocol. All right. So there is this person X and Y who on the internet just unleashed a DeFi protocol, which is again appreciated by a lot many people. So that person may be unknown because of no KYC, is done because DeFi is available for everyone. So when that person disappears with that protocol, once a lot of money is pulled in for that or staked in for that, that might be a problem. I mean, you give access to everyone, and then you believe somebody on the internet might keep your money safe, and then the person just basically unplugs.
That's the beauty of smart contracts, right? They'll happen. I mean,
Yeah,
this is what
they happen, but until unless you cannot communicate with that machine anyway.
No, the thing. So what are you saying? That you borrow someone's money, let's say on a protocol, let's say in like a lending and borrowing protocol, you've given your collateral and borrowed money, and then you disappear.
Yeah, more like Ponzi-like thing.
So someone takes your money and doesn't give back. Some kind of that thing.
Yeah, something like that, like
So-
a personal.
So that is why there have been hacks in the past, but now smart contracts are to be designed in that way that considers that possibility as well, right? So
Yeah.
so let's just say someone borrows something. So this is moving on to lending and borrowing.
Yeah.
We've covered like the exchange part. So lending and borrowing also has like two platforms majorly, which is in the DeFi market is Aave and Compound, as well.
Yeah, Aave and Compound.
So let's say someone borrows a token on Aave, they have to give in some collateral. They have interest rates that they will have to give,
Yeah.
which is like the borrow interest rate. I won't say annualized percentage yield.
That's very against. Like,
Again, jargon. I mean, why do you call it APY when you can call it interest?
Them millennials.
I mean, so you have to give that, and then the thing is that interest rates can be rigged as well. You might do that.
Yeah.
But the interest rates in the smart contract of the protocol are decided by the ratio of the tokens in one pool. So if ETH and say DAI in a pool are 1-to-1,
Yeah.
that will give out some other, ratio. So that will decide what the collateral factor is, which basically decides if you can borrow or not a token or not. If the collateral factor is say 70%, so that means like you can borrow 70% of the token that is available in the pool. Rest you cannot. So there are smart contracts. This is the beauty. Like people are actually working on to correct these problems that have happened in the past. The DAO hack that caused the Ethereum to fall so much, Ethereum value to fall so much, and Charles Hoskinson was saying like the thing that infuriated me most was Charles Hoskinson is the founder of Cardano.
Yeah.
So basically a rival of Ethereum. So he talked in the favor of Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ether. Like people were, criticizing Ethereum for the hack that happened, and that is why the value of it went so down.
Yeah.
So he was like, it's ridiculous. It's like Photoshop didn't work. Fuck Bill Gates. I mean, he's made a platform. Now, what other people do, he can control that only to an extent. The thing is that we are trying to say is the technology. I mean, there are problems. How 4-year-old, it's a 4-year-old technology.
Yeah, and that's pretty early to bid upon, but yeah, again, 4-year-old gives it a benefit of doubt or benefit of question.
Mean, of course, there are problems to solve, and there are, how do you make it mainstream? How do you replace the coin? How do you replace? But the thing is that the idea of having decentralization, the idea of smart contracts codifying human transactions per se, that could be revolutionary. That could change the world in the future. Like हमारा सौदा हुआ, like bet लगी, bet तो लग गई, मैं दूंगा या नहीं दूंगा वो.
That's questionable.
That's questionable in the world. But let's just codify it. Let's make a smart contract.
That's why there are collaterals in the current modern finance world. But again, collaterals are also there in DeFi scene as well, I guess.
Yeah, there are.
There are collaterals.
So it's basically lending and borrowing the way it works in traditional systems as well. But there are, of course, changes. Banks are not there, so you can't have banks. Yeah. If you have a central body in the decentralized space, that counteracts the whole point of it.
Yeah.
So you can't have that. So you have to invent new technology. You have to invent things that not replicate that, but
Again,
serve the same,
reciprocate that.
serve the same
Yeah.
initial, motivation.
Motivation,
Banks were supposed to help us.
Nah. Yeah.
Banks were supposed to look out for us.
Yeah.
Look at how that went.
But again, banks is a very capitalistic concept. It was never made of a concept that everybody should have money or everybody's money should be in here and then we'll control for you. So banks were basically a capitalistic idea, and it still is. But with crypto coming in, that becomes more of a DeFi becomes a socialistic idea. But let's just see, because there are both different thoughts of school.
But again, let's say you start a DeFi protocol tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's a revolutionary idea, catches on. You're a rich man in a week.
A week, and then I might disappear. Nobody knows because nobody knows my name, my location.
But the protocol is there. Smart contracts will happen. You can't make a smart contract you can make it alone. You can make a protocol on your own.
Yeah.
But if you disappear, you're not likely to catch on because you have to release a white paper to have a protocol. You have to release what you are doing. You have, it's open source. Everything is on the open ledger.
Again, crypto's one of the most strong fundamentals is, I guess, privacy aspect of it, because nobody knows who's they're actually dealing with. One day you might be dealing with Aayush or Paarug, but the next day you might be dealing with Dark Monkey 6969.
A 12-digit code.
Yeah, a 12-digit code. So 741682.
That's the beauty. We still don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is,
Yeah, we still don't know that, but is it?
And we know he has like 100.
A good thing?
We know he has like, I don't know how many Bitcoin, some thousands of Bitcoin. We know Satoshi Nakamoto has that. And if a person has that much amount of money, it's very hard to hide yourself. Imagine having 10 Bitcoin. You would let the world know about it.
I'd be flexing it all.
Imagine having 1 lakh Bitcoin. So we can't even imagine the wealth Satoshi Nakamoto, whether he's a guy, woman, group of people, we don't know.
Yeah.
But he has that money. Them, they, he, she, it, whatever.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Amazing detective / genius. Whatever he is. So, but the thing is, we still don't know. And that guy I'm sure has a very hard time to not show his money.
Yeah.
Imagine having 1 lakh Bitcoin in your pocket. It's very hard to hide that.
Yeah.
Of course he lives in a mansion. Of course he could call Putin in his house.
How is he doing with his taxes, man?
That's
the real question. How?
We don't know who the guy is.
Sir, ma'am,
he might be a school teacher. Who knows?
Yeah. I have so much of wealth, but I'm still teaching you slugs.
Who knows? Who knows? He might be anybody. No one knows. I'm sure Vitalik Buterin knows at this point. अच्छा तू है सही बात है. So but that's the thing, right? It's kind of, I don't want him to come out.
Yeah. Have you seen me and Satoshi Nakamoto in the same room?
No. My dad might be Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't know. So, but it's kind of, one side of me wants to know who the guy is, because he gave the world what it needed but didn't know how to get. But a part of me doesn't want him to come out.
Because that if he comes out, that actually, not misleads, but it becomes, it breaks the concept of somewhat cryptocurrency. It breaks the concept of it.
Because
the basic ethic of it,
it's like no one would do. Everyone would have the control. But again, coming back to like anybody could make a protocol and then run away with the money.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you have to make that protocol on an open chain, first of all. So you have to give out your code, of course.
Yeah.
And then if you want to attract people to use your protocol, you have to tell them what you are. And then you have to tell them what the smart contract is, and people will read it. If you're trading tokens on a protocol, you know a lot about blockchain and DeFi. So it's very hard to create a Ponzi scheme in that way.
Yeah.
But if a hacker
But newcomers in this space, beware, like be
Yeah,
very
I
aware. I mean, it's for every newcomer, whether you're starting anything. So beware of the hacks.
Of course, beware of the option traders in the traditional stock market.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are cunts.
those guys take our money literally every day. The day our stock prices fall, they make the profits.
Yeah.
So fuck you. So, I mean, they
They're
make money.
shorting
I
it
mean,
every now and then.
GameStop was the best thing that could have happened to these hedge fund companies.
Yeah.
The whole Robinhood drama that happened.
Yeah, and it was pretty bad that how they stopped. How
Robinhood
stopped trading for GameStop. I mean, that was so bad.
Again,
And
that was a big example of how
we need
DeFi.
DeFi. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, nobody could have stopped you if you were on DeFi and trading Robinhood then. Nobody could have stopped you. Nobody had the power.
For those who don't know about the whole GameStop situation.
GameStop situation was so. I mean, GameStop. First of all, coming from a gaming background,
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen GameStop is a retail chain, just like back in the day, there was like Hamleys is for toys, GameStop is for music CDs, then video game CDs, and so on, with mostly game related consoles and accessories and all. So GameStop had good retail outlets, a good number of retail outlets, like a Walmart of gaming, Mecca of gaming, Walmart of gaming. And the gaming, they had their stock listed in the New York Stock Exchange. And what these big hedge funds did was they overshorted.
So no, but like first of all, the GameStop stock basically was a dying stock.
Yeah, it was falling
because
every
the
day.
gaming world moved on from like physical CDs
to digital copies.
Yeah. So GameStop's stock was
falling. And these
very
hedge
hard.
funds shorted it a lot. Now, what short selling is that assuming that the price will fall tomorrow, so you buy it today at tomorrow's price. That's what short selling is, basically, very simple terms. So these hedge funds that controls like millions of dollars, they shorted it. They shorted it so much that the actual value was less, market valuation, but the shorted value was more. So what these geniuses at Wall Street Bets did,
it's a Reddit community.
You can join it freely. Even I'm a part of it.
I'm also a part of it.
And it's pretty fun.
Sitting in New Delhi.
Same here, sitting in New Delhi. We are still part of Wall Street Bets. But again, so what happened was, so one of the community members pointed it out that these hedge funds have millions of dollars shorted on GameStop. So what they did was they started buying. Now this is a general economic phenomena that when you buy something, the price increases because there are more buyers than seller actually has the quantity to sell. So seller will definitely increase the price. So the next day price rose. Hedge funds incurred losses. Every day they bought and suddenly hedge funds lost so much of money that GameStop actually became a Fortune 500 company that nobody expected it to become, even in a million years. I mean, the owner of GameStop would have, if one day you wake up and you feel like my company is dying, I need to do something about it.
This is also a definition of what Reddit is. Only on Reddit could this have happened.
Reddit is actually the front page of the internet. I mean,
only on Reddit this could have happened. Reddit is the Florida of the internet.
The wild west of the internet. So again, on Reddit, so when people started buying and for a stock that is already shorted, for example, Paarug shorted it and I'm buying it. So Paarug said that I will buy it today at tomorrow's price. So tomorrow's price will be disclosed tomorrow.
I was assuming that tomorrow's price would be lower.
So if the stock was today 10 rupees, Paarug says that I'm a genius and I know it will be 8 rupees tomorrow. So give me the stock today, but I'll pay you tomorrow according to tomorrow's price. So you get a 10 rupee stock today and tomorrow you pay for it 8 rupees. So that's basically a 2 rupee profit for you a day before you bought the stock. Alright. Similarly, hedge funds bought, let's just say 10 rupees ka GameStop. They bought it they said that tomorrow it will be 8. So we will buy it tomorrow, but give us the possession of the stock today. Alright. So when they had the possession of their stock at 10, alright, and they wanted to buy it tomorrow, but when tomorrow came actually, the stock went to 12. Not 8, it went to 12. And when it went to 12, it went 2 rupees up. So they bought it for, like, they got a 10 rupees stock with themselves for 12. Now they have to pay 2 rupees more to get that stock actually, because they promised that I'll pay it tomorrow. So that's how they lost tons of money. And I mean, GameStop, with that 2 rupees, let's just assume that that is $200 million, or let's just say 2 billion. Those 2 rupees came in such big amounts that Reddit, GameStop actually became a Fortune 500 company. And I mean,
it was a whole scene.
It was a scene.
And it was the best definition of internet. I felt empowered doing that. I mean, these companies don't have a say. They only have a say up to a point.
Yeah.
If enough people gather together, they can fuck these guys up.
Exactly.
But the interesting part came in when Robinhood, which is like Zerodha of America,
a mini trading app, like a trading app suitable, like
for millennials. It's basically caters to millennials and young people who are getting into finance.
Yeah.
So when Robinhood
actually, Robinhood is, again, it's a portal for you to trade on.
It's an exchange.
No, not an exchange.
Not an exchange, but like
it's
like your broker. It's a brokerage service.
It's a brokerage service. So when, like, millennials like us have an account on Zerodha and we trade on Kite, that is their app. Similarly, Robinhood is an app which lets you trade easily. An online app demat account now, and it is pretty simple to add funds via UPI and you just trade easy. Easy come, easy go.
America.
Yeah. So when this all was happening, people were buying GameStop. Now Robinhood was influenced with a lot of hedge funds out there. It was backed by big hedge funds, right? So let's just say Paarug is a big hedge fund and I'm Robinhood, and Paarug has invested in me. So Paarug has put money in me to see me, to see my value appreciate in time, in forward. In future. So Robinhood was influenced by hedge fund that has already shorted GameStop. So Paarug has one investment in me and one investment in GameStop. So to stop Paarug get into more losses, I stopped trading. I said no to GameStop. I said nobody would be able to trade on GameStop. And I know that I have 40 or 50% of American youth that actually know about GameStop. They won't be able to trade. I know they have accounts with me, and I'll just block the trading of GameStop. And I mean, that was a very, very bad move.
It was basically, you have a right to buy
and sell.
Stock.
I mean, that's
the definition of an open market.
Open market, yeah.
And they stopped trading, and it was highly criticized. It was highly criticized by everyone all around. Vlad Tenev, who's the founder and CEO of Robinhood, was under a lot of flack.
Yeah.
But that is the point we are trying to make, that you can't do that.
Stop anyone
in DeFi.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Nobody has the power to do it.
Everyone up to that point, especially young people who were involved in that, they thought that, I mean, nobody could stop us from doing this. So we're doing this.
Exactly.
But turns out that someone can. Someone can come in and just say no.
And delete us from YouTube, from Spotify, from all major platforms.
So somebody could come up and say no. Robinhood came up and said no fucking way you're buying a GameStop stock, because this is harming us.
Because GameStop shorting is the money where shorting came from is the same way Robinhood is also getting money from.
Yeah. So it basically was an attack on the freedom.
Yeah, it was an attack.
I would say. And this is the same. I mean, Zerodha could do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
if that could happen in India.
If let's just imagine if Zerodha and Adani, if Zerodha was funded by Adani and the recent crash.
I mean, Zerodha could stop you from trading. You can't sell even. You can't buy, you can't sell.
Yeah.
The price remains the same until stuff cools down.
Exactly.
How would you? I wouldn't like that.
I would have revolted. I would have fucking
gone to Upstocks right away.
Office kind.
I would have gone right to Upstocks.
Upstocks or Grow.
Yeah.
Anything.
So, and that is the same with Coinbase, WazirX.
Yeah.
These are centralized exchanges, right?
You can never shut them down unless something really, really bad happens.
I mean, WazirX has a different problem now. I mean, the government if banks shut down WazirX shuts down, even if it is against its own will, and we suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
So
our money into crypto.
Centralized exchanges have this baggage with them.
Yeah.
That somebody is in control, which is not the case in DeFi, and which is why we should be very optimistic about its future.
This one pro of DeFi, sometimes fulfills all the cons of DeFi. I mean, this pro, having nobody control your finances or your money, just this point of DeFi takes it a very long way. I mean, you don't want someone else to, make you poor the next day by printing more of 2000 rupees notes that you just have. I mean, if you take a 100 rupee note back in 2010, I mean, you could have get fuel for like 70 rupees or 60 rupees. But today, I just discussed with him. And
2010 was like 40 rupees?
40 rupees, 50 rupees.
50 rupees.
Let's just assume 55. Na teri na meri 55 laga.
That's 200% rise.
Right. So again, 55 rupees fuel, and you get like 1.9 liters out of it.
So I mean,
today I couldn't even get 1 liter of fuel because the fuel price is 101.8.
So a lot of times, again I will repeat this. A lot of times people say prices have gone up.
Yeah.
If you could change that and think of the value of your money has gone down.
Down, yeah. That's when you need DeFi.
Yeah, that's when you need DeFi, because who brought it down? The government, the banks. I mean,
it's not just.
We know the governments import fuel at a lower price.
Yeah.
We know they're covering up for the loss that COVID-19, the impact
what
COVID-19
anything did.
For anything, they're using this for their profit.
Yeah.
And someone has to suffer. If fuel prices go down tomorrow, the governments will suffer. I mean, they won't suffer as much as we are.
Yeah.
But someone has to take the hits. And right now we have been.
Yeah. And also for all the people thinking that ये current government की बात हो रही है.
Every government does this.
Government. I mean, not
okay.
right wing or left wing. Please, दिमाग मत लगाना अपना सारा इस चीज में. मोदी नहीं कर रहा ये सब government as an institution होता ही आ रहा है.
I mean,
ठीक है.
The thing is, we could question the government of find another resource or keep the fuel price in check. I mean, 100 rupees for 1 liter is a little too much.
That's like I just did a rough estimate of all of you people who are fortunate enough to have a car, and I just made a rough estimate. So it's like 14 to 15 rupees per kilometer to travel when you go in your own car, personal vehicle. 15 rupees for a kilometer. I mean, that's pretty expensive. If you take Ola, Uber, I guess that's much cheaper.
Ola, Uber prices will go up proportionately, won't they?
Yeah, but depends upon the fuel that they use.
I mean, if this is a strategy to promote electric cars, I don't like this. This is a very bad strategy.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Build more charging stations.
Forcing me to buy an electric car is no way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much it. I mean, invest on the infrastructure. That's very much required. In a metropolitan city like Delhi, people I have actively seen green number plates around me. Very easily, it's easy to spot green number plates.
CNG is much more cheaper at this point.
I mean, it is cheaper and it is easily
available
and filled. Because
this is no way to promote greener alternatives. Please don't torture us.
But imports are at an all-time. Import taxes are at an all-time high, and batteries are really expensive. The technology is expensive. It will take time. But DeFi eliminates a lot of problems, and I believe that DeFi is giving the fact that it's just a 4-5 year old technology. I mean, it still has a lot to be discovered upon, explored.
I mean, if you want to go into a field at this point, you could go and this is like the internet in 1990s.
Yeah.
I mean, someone made email.
Yeah. Sabir Bhatia, founder of Hotmail. Yeah. He did.
So I mean, I don't know where he is at, but I know where Sundar Pichai is at with Gmail.
Yeah.
I know where Larry Page and who's the other guy?
Sergey Brin.
Yeah, I know where they are. So I mean, also there was a very interesting analogy. I don't know who made this, but he was like, so when the internet came, early on in the 1980s, 1990s, everyone thought of internet as the email. Right? But they did not see the World Wide Web behind.
Yeah. Tim Berners-Lee coming up with that bomb.
So the analogy he was making as everyone right now sees cryptocurrency,
Blockchain as crypto.
Bitcoin, and these currencies as email.
Yeah.
What they don't see is the DeFi, which is going to be the World Wide Web.
Yeah, which is a
very interesting analogy to think about.
Yeah. So yeah, we are getting to that phase again, and
yeah, I mean, we won't realize 10 years down the line, we might look back and think about we did not give it the respect it deserved. This time that we are in, and the things that are happening in the space
world. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to.
It's very exciting and scary at the same point.
Yeah, I mean, you might lose all of your money again tomorrow morning. You wake up, you're broke, but again, you might make tons and tons of money you would have never imagined. So when we look at it, with a long view, that is this really going to replace finance all over again? The rules of finance will be rewritten. A lot in the process is what I think is a lot of people will lose their jobs, and that will be mostly accountants, chartered accountants, financial financial advisors. Yeah, they might still exist.
The people I want them to lose their jobs are these brokers who charge 0.9% of your fees for every transaction. These motherfuckers are going to lose their jobs, and I will be very happy for them. And these hedge fund corporations,
they're doing nothing wrong, but it's just part of their living. I mean, somebody has to do that in the end of the day.
The thing is, Saga and Jetty we've spoken about Crystal Ball and Saga and Jetty in episodes, who have their own show now. He actually pointed out a very interesting fact on his podcast with Joe Rogan. He said, if you do a research on how to become a billionaire in the United States of America, it's not to open Tesla, it's not to have Apple, it's not to become a businessman. The best way, if you want to become a billionaire, is to become a hedge fund corporation accountant, become the financial guy, because they are the richest people in America right now. So basically he came from that the highest percentage of people who are billionaires in America are these guys who do nothing, just charge fees, just rig prices and earn and eat off like fucking scavengers.
Yeah, I mean, with great amount of, like finance is not easy, to be honest. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody is that good with numbers. Not everybody is good with, a lot of...
I mean, Harshad Mehta was a genius.
I mean, exception again. He was a genius. But it's not that easy. Like finance, when we talk about it, like people in finance, oh, you must be rich, or you're a broker, oh, you must be rich. Handling a hedge fund, or you must be rich. I mean, yeah, that you must be rich is always there. But the point here is that coming to that level is also not easy. And giving the fact that it's just not a few bunch of people that want to get into finance. I guess in today's time, it's everyone that wants to be in there in the finance.
Course, how you want to earn money? What do?
You go to finance.
I mean, even if you're an engineer, you do an MBA, go to financial corporation,
and then you do a job about handling back-end operations. that includes no shit about your engineering degree or your finance degree in MBA. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's a typical Noida Gurgaon guy.
You've done a Vice. You worked at Vice.
Yeah.
Vice's reporter Ben Anderson.
Yeah.
We have spoken about him.
Yeah.
He was on Joe Rogan. He made fun of these financial guys. He was like, so basically he does reporting in the Middle East in the middle of war. So Joe Rogan was asking like, what is your job like?
Yeah.
Does it give you fulfillment?
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah.
I've seen this episode. Yeah.
He's like, I ask people, what do you do? He says, I work in the finance sector. It's like, okay, but what do you do? Yeah, I'm a financial broker or something. It's like, yeah, that's your position.
What do you do?
It's like, I read charts and understand the trends of the financial market. It's like, congratulations, what a wonderful thing to dedicate your life to. it's like the people don't consider what they do, they consider the rewards they get for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never found finance and these domains as interesting. Like, they suck my soul and kill me inside.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, I was never a good guy. I was never good with numbers, but that's not the case why I don't like finance. I mean, everybody likes to, multiply their money and, get those interest benefits out of वो stock market में invest करते हैं.
I mean, I'm completely...
आज 1,000 हर महीने डालूंगा तो retirement तक 12
I'm
करोड़
completely into the fintech sector that is happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm just not into,
the part of reason maybe because we are in the fintech sector would be that it's taking a revolution that no other sector is taking right now.
Exactly.
That revolution...
We are taking over. It's like our generation is taking over.
Yeah. I mean, and I have seen no other, such industry to take a revolution as of this very moment. I mean, the fintech sector is only the one in a revolution right now.
Agri-tech could make a case for it, but that's
very slow.
That's nowhere near, and electric vehicles might make a case for it, but nowhere near fintech. I mean, you have Zerodha, Upstocks, you have ZX.
Every day there is something new happening in fintech. And that dynamics of fintech is what makes it great, beautiful, and also vulnerable at the same time. I mean, and once you talk about smart contracts today, maybe tomorrow or day after, there might be something even better than smart contracts that might make it obsolete totally.
Of course.
That's how it works. I mean,
that's how internet
DeFi
works.
will make stock exchanges of today obsolete one day.
I mean, Facebook.
That's how it's.
Facebook did MySpace very bad. I mean, MySpace was the thing. I mean, Facebook, when Facebook came
I was on Orkut.
Same here. I mean, where is it now? I mean, Gmail took over.
Yeah.
It's not like Orkut suffered as bad as MySpace did.
Yeah.
But that's how it works, right? Someone could take over Facebook tomorrow. I mean, someone has Instagram, but Instagram is owned by Facebook. So someone might take over Instagram tomorrow or Twitter. These guys are there and then they're not.
Yeah. And that's what, comes the revolutionary part of it.
That's just internet.
Being internet.
It's
I don't like this anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. So
I mean,
change it all.
Netflix took over cinema halls.
Releases are happening on Netflix and I mean,
especially with the pandemic, you can't go to cinema halls. Guess what? You're at home.
Yeah.
Enjoy your movie with your popcorn.
Let's come to a fact that episode 3, I gave a review about Salman Bhai's movie. Radhe, come on, man.
Sorry.
I mean,
sounded like a flex, but it was a very sad statement.
No, but that's the power. I mean, we are all home, and then there is a movie release happening, and then you pay to watch it. That's convenience of your home, efficient, effective, whatever you guys may call it.
People care about your time,
exactly,
not their money.
Exactly, and convenience at some point.
Yeah, if you attack people's freedom or you attack people's time, they'll come after you.
And they'll probably slaughter you.
Yeah, you get rejected by the society.
And get cancelled.
And this is why I am optimistic about DeFi, because once enough people know about it, there's no way anyone is changing that tide.
There is no way. I mean, more education, more empowerment, and that's one way of doing it with slippery slopes.
We are a socialistic venture, we could say that.
Yeah, we could definitely add this to our corporate social responsibility. Getting you topics that you might need tomorrow. We saw it coming. You badass sons of bitches.
Thank us later, but make sure you do.
And also hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, you might not get what's going to happen tomorrow.
I hope a broker takes advantage of you.
Only if you don't hit that button. With that,
that's it for today, Sunday.
For sure. Alright, thank you everyone for joining us for today's amazing episode of Slippery Slopes, and thank you for investing your precious, valuable, incalculable, priceless time with us.
Take care of it.
Take care of it.
Don't let governments take it from you.
चुप साले टाइम कैसे ले लेंगे अबे रुक जा,
ऐसा ले लेंगे।
चलो ठीक है, okay, let's see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, next Sunday, next Sunday.
इतनी जल्दी नहीं है प्रोडक्शन हमारी।
Let's meet you guys on next Sunday, same place, same time, same channel. Thank you.